Hello everyone, welcome to the rooferscoffeeshop.com soundstage here at Western Roofing Expo, sponsored by General Coatings and Everroof. This is our coffee conversations. My name is Megan Ellsworth and I will be your host today. And I have the best panel ever here at Western Roofing Expo. I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about what's hot in the industry, what's going on, what we're all hearing. And I just can't thank General Coatings and Everroof enough for sponsoring the soundstage and the coffee conversations today. So everyone, you're in for a treat. Let's dive in. And, Will, let's start with you. If you could introduce yourself.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Megan. My name is Will Lorenz. I'm president of General Coatings. We're a manufacturer of spray polyurethane foam and roof coatings to go on it. We have a sister brand, Everroof, that does restoration coatings, silicone acrylics, and silicate. We're glad to be here and be a sponsor. It's always a great event, and appreciate partnering with Roofers Coffee Shop.
Yay! Seth?
Seth Peach with Integrity Insurance and Bonding, located in Happy Valley, Oregon. Here to just show my support for the roofing industry, and glad to be here.
Yay, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
And Elise.
Hello, hi, I'm Elise. I'm the marketing manager for Polycoat Products. This is my first time attending WRE, so I'm just excited to be here and learn a lot about roofing and just absorb all the information out there. So thank you.
First time attendee, we love it. Stan, last but certainly not least.
I'm Stan Robinson, Pacific West Roofing out of Hubbard, Oregon, near Portland. And I am the current senior vice president, and tomorrow will be the president for 25-26.
Yes, for Western States.
For Western States.
Yes, and you were the president of ARC, I believe, the Oregon?
I was the president of ARC up until about 3 weeks ago.
Wow, congrats.
I did divest.
Yeah, yeah. Take on a new presidency.
Yes.
Okay, well, I would love to know, that the show just opened, but how is not only the show, but the year so far going for each of you? What have you seen this year? And Will, I'd love to start with you on this one.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's seen that it's kind of been a upside down year. It's hard to predict. It starts off at the presidency. I think there's a lot of good things he's doing, but there's a lot of uncertainty with regard to tariffs this week or tariffs that week, and obviously, that causes some confusion. But we've seen as a whole, roofing being fairly strong given all that uncertainty.
Yeah.
And I think it's picking up. I think second quarter might have been the slower part of the quarters, and third quarter so far looks a little better.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of optimism. Certainly some of the big bill passing things could help our industry, and if we get labor figured out, I think we go back to keep rolling.
Yeah. Elise, I would love to just hear from you, since this is your first Western States.
Yeah.
How's it going? What's it been like?
It's been fun, honestly. I feel like just the environment itself is, super exciting, super positive. It's just great to see the sense of community, I feel like, in the roofers industry. Even I was here yesterday for setup, and again, it's just, you just really get that sense of community within this industry. For me, I'm really just here to take it all in, learn as much as I can, from a marketing perspective. I'm doing my scouting on stuff on competitors and whatnot, but also just seeing how, our sales team, you might need our assistance in the future. But overall, it's been a lot of fun so far. Yeah.
Yay, that's awesome. Great. Seth, how's the year been for you? What are you seeing trend-wise?
Trend-wise, I would just say it's a little bit flat as far as the growth, and but the good thing is that we haven't seen a lot of declines in growth either. Always the first year, I feel, of a new president, it's always, there's a lot of uncertainty, like Will said. It's everybody's kind of trying to navigate the water, see how the field's going to lay out. And it's I do see that there's positive trends starting to go in the right direction, and I feel like we're all optimistic of what the future holds.
Yeah. Stan, lastly, but again not least, what have you seen this year?
Well, it was a slow second quarter. I think that was probably the biggest. Everybody was saying, why isn't my phone ringing? And it was across the board. I was talking to contractors in California, talking to contractors in Arizona, all over my state. Same thing. It's 10 to 15% off center. But I think third quarter has been strong, and it's funny. it's not just regional. It's a national thing. And I think a lot of it has to do with the things that you talked about the uncertainty.
Yeah, uncertainty for sure. So, given the kind of economic climate, what strategies are you all implementing to kind of navigate this said uncertainty? And with the new interest rates, home buyer rates going kind of up and down, what are you guys doing to kind of prepare for this? So maybe start with you, Stan.
Well, I think the uncertainty is still there.
Yeah.
I don't. But people also have to have a roof. They got to have it
Exactly.
done. And so what we're seeing is people are, and this is not uncommon, and you'll agree, people start buying on price.
Yep.
And they're sacrificing that quality for the price, which just creates a wave of more work later because something's gonna fail because of quality of workmanship.
Yeah. Elise, what are you guys doing?
Well, I would say just my own personal insight. So I was, out looking at homes, first time home buyer here.
Yeah.
Looking at homes, this past weekend. So I'd say even from my perspective, it's, first thing you ask when you're like viewing a home is, how's the roof?
Yeah.
That's like first question. So I think again with interest rates slowly, hopefully starting to decline.
Yeah.
I think obviously the industry will pick up because people will be hungry. They'll want to get in homes. So that just opens more opportunity for people to either replace roofs, upgrade their roof, add a roof, whatnot. So I think hopefully they continue to decline for my own personal sake.
Me too, sister.
But yeah, I think there's like a positive light at the end of the tunnel with like home roofing and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Seth, on the insurance side, what are you all kind of doing to help contractors through this period of uncertainty, and what are you preparing personally through your business?
Sure. Well, I think in times of really large economic growth, you're trying to catch a fire hose with a bucket, and everything is just coming at you so fast, and you're doing your best to handle everything that you possibly can. Which right now, I think with it just being a little slower than normal, it's a really good time for us to reassess how we're running our processes and our procedures, and invest really into new technology with and I don't know the first thing about AI, but other people in my office do, which that's good. But really invest in new technology, making things easier on our staff, investing back into our staff, into our employees, giving them the education and the training that they need that they may have not been able to get when everybody's just running around as fast as they can trying to keep up. And
good time.
Things are definitely changing on the construction side with just new contracts and contractual requirements with government jobs, big, large commercial general contractors, even residential general contractors. So really just trying to get everybody up to speed on what the new contracts look like, helping the contractors navigate those so they're not signing a contract that's, hopefully not in their favor, which majority of the time they're not in their favor, and really just trying to educate our clients on what that means if they do engage in a contract and how that's going to impact their business going forward with that GC.
Yeah, that's huge. And I mean, on the insurance side too, I've been hearing so much. I mean, from Florida, Colorado, I live, like all the insurance companies are dropping clientele and how contractors can react to that. So you all helping them, that's huge on that front. Will, what are you all doing at General Coatings to kind of help your contractors through this time of uncertainty?
Well, I think there's several things. One, we focus on quality first of all. To get through this time frame, people got to have a reliable relationship and they have to have reliable products. And so, we're not shortcutting anything. We're really trying to maintain high quality, get the products out there that work, educate people or train people or talk to people about how our systems work, how they should be installed properly, walk them through that process. We're spending a lot of time face to face out in the field with people. We believe that the best thing we can do is have a project successful, and some of our larger projects this year, we've sort of doubled our tech service force out there, because at the end of the day, our reputation really comes down through how well the contractor has done the work. And we want to warranty work, and we want to stand behind it, and we want our customers to know that a General Coatings installed roof by XYZ roofer is a top-notch program and a top-notch install, and it's going to be a great roof. And so we think that's what we're doing, but we're also being aggressive in the marketplace. We've seen a lot of competition, and so we're matching that fervor and building our relationship and not letting anybody get any quarter on it.
Yeah, that's important, and that's good advice for the contractors out there, because like you all said, we had that big growth spurt in 2020, 2021, 2022 with COVID and everyone being inside their homes wanting to redo things, and now we're seeing this slowing period. Like you said, it's the time to take a look on the inside of your business, like the people did in their homes, right? It's time to build your business from the inside out, and really start doing that. So this industry is all about giving back, and we were at the Davis Memorial auction last night. So fun! Stanimal came out. It was great. And what are some recent? Oh, you really missed it. What are some recent initiatives or trends that you see with giving back to the industry that you've been just really enjoying, Stan?
I just enjoy what we did last night and just raising that much money. I mean, we have an initial amount of about $90,000 raised.
Yeah.
And how can you not be proud of that?
That's
and
huge.
Being able to give that back to the kids,
Yeah.
getting them involved, and through the some of the other programs that are available for young kids to get involved in.
Yeah.
I'm working with some community colleges down south, like Woodburn, Oregon, Chemeketa, where they're trying to figure out what to do next, and I'm trying to guide them in some of that and say, what you really need is you need to get on board with something that's already working. Don't go reinvent the wheel. Go and do this and join these other people, and I'll come and teach it here at the college.
Yeah.
And so that giving back part, I taught roofing at Portland Community College over a 20-year period, and off and on years, for residential shingle work, and so that was a blast. I did that a long time ago, but it was a lot of fun.
That's so cool, and that's huge. Like Skills USA,
Right.
getting all the CTA.
That's the one they need to get involved in, and we need to get that involved in Oregon so we can launch it. So I just need a place to go, and I think Chemeketa is going to be a great college to do it.
Yeah, and I know lots of people in California, Southern California, are looking to get involved with Skills USA as well, and a lot of the Western states are. So if we all just band together and get it all state by state put together, then we could get some really great, opportunities for high schoolers that don't want to go to college or can't afford college, and maybe they can get the Davis Memorial to go to college.
Yeah.
Right.
Elise, what are you seeing now that you're new to the industry?
Yeah.
What do you see?
I'd say, kind of going off what Stan said, I think getting the younger generations involved is huge. I mean, as we know, our future is the younger generation. So just looking around at the trade show, I think, being able to kind of educate the younger generations, letting them know what opportunities are out there. Some people might not know, so being able to kind of give them that opportunity, also give them that financial opportunity to, like you said, go to college, go to a trade school to, learn these skills, hone these skills. I feel like unfortunately, that's kind of an art that's slowly starting to decline, because for one reason or the other, that trade skill again is just not as forthcoming maybe as it should be. So I think with the Davis Memorial and just like being able to provide kids with those opportunities is like an amazing thing, and just keeping the younger generation involved and educated and like giving them those opportunities. I think that's really important. So.
Yeah, it's so important. It's so important, and I think there are a lot of communities in Oregon, my home state, a little biased, that I'm thinking of like State in Oregon, and their high school, they have a huge trades program, like it's so important, and to kind of get the kids involved young, and the Let's Build Camp for Girls, there's a couple in like Ohio, Pennsylvania. So Seth, what give back initiatives are you seeing in the industry that really lights your fire?
Well, I always love coming down here and sitting through the legislative, luncheon and the updates from, McKay Daniels and Craig Breitup, and and then just actually being able to see the impact of what the Davis Memorial Foundation has actually done for all the students receiving the scholarships. And, as a company, we donate, we do the sporting clays, we do all that kind of stuff, but we don't see exactly what's happening when we give a donation or anything else. But when you see that, even if your donation is small or large, you can see the whole scale of how much has actually impacted, younger generation of being able to get a scholarship, be able to get, extra funds to pay for college or, a trade or anything like that. So being able to see it firsthand from all the years that this has happened since, I think they said 1996 is when it started, or shortly after, somewhere right around in there, being able to see almost $1 million raised for scholarships. I mean, whether you're a company that can give a lot or a company that can give a little, it all adds up, and it's proof in seeing these updates and these luncheons and stuff. So it's pretty incredible to watch.
Anything to report from the luncheon that caught your attention?
There's a lot of uncertainty, definitely. The White House updates got everybody on pins and needles a little bit. But that's every year. It's politics. Everything is always uncertain in politics. But what is certain is that we need more younger people in the roofing industry. That's certain, because roofing is not going away. It's here to stay. It's been here since the time that people started building shelters for themselves, and it's we need more quality, young, ambitious individuals, and to keep this generation of roofers, going full steam ahead. And that's a huge benefit of investing in our younger generation.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Will, take us home on this topic of bringing kids into the industry and give back.
What I've seen is an evolution. It started off maybe that we were training people for what I call the core business of the roofing things, where they were going to start off as a journeyman or working their way up to being foreman, those things. And now, we look at holistically, and we're looking at, people who provide, whether it's sales or they're doing estimating, or whether they're even, learning the entrepreneurial skills to be a business person themselves and be a roofer. I think originally we kind of looked at it as sort of like original companies trying to get workers better trained, get them into the business for the existing business. And now we've opened it up so that we're saying the roofing is an opportunity for everybody. And depending on how hard you work, how hard your capabilities are, and what you want to do, you can be running the biggest roofing companies in the country. And so, I've seen that change, and I think that's really positive, whether it's, the Roofing Alliance or what it's Western States doing with the scholarship, which you're a winner of, and proven that it's done a great job for all of us. And this brings a new set of something to it. They may be the best salesperson, best estimator, or they may be the best manager of that business, male or female. And I think that's the other thing. The gloves are off. Anybody can achieve anything.
That's true.
Yeah, well said, totally. And from firsthand account.
My two kids too.
Yes, I love it. Amazing. Okay, so are there any key trends that you're noticing, particularly in the Western states? Weather, fire. It was a kind of quiet fire year, knock on plastic. Anything, west of the Rockies that you're seeing particular recurrences of? And maybe Stan, I'll put you in the fire again.
Oh boy. Thank God it has been a quiet year for fire, but I know that there are going to be some new ventilation codes coming up with the WUI program, which is the basically urban interface. And so places like, I'm just going to pick Sisters, Oregon, because I have a friend who lives there, and your folks live there, but they can't get fire insurance. And so that's another thing I'm sure that Seth has spoken about too, and knows a lot about. But that there's a new ventilation codes for specific types of vents for fire that actually shut the air off so that we can't get air up into the attics and get fire up into the attics. And so there's some new things coming there.
Wow, that's interesting. And it's the same in Colorado with the home insurance. Because of if you're in a fire area, zone, it's just crazy.
We had a guy speak at our local association on it about requirements of having to keep bark dust away from the house by 15 feet, keep bushes back from the house by 15 feet. There are all kinds of codes, not just roofing ventilation, but entire neighborhood requirements. I mean, based on what happened in California, we can kind of learn what happened.
The days of cedar shake are over.
Oh yeah.
Well, you heard
and
it
yet
first.
I get calls to bid on them.
Wow. Interesting. Wow. I mean, Tim and Heidi's house has pavers all around for fire
Yeah.
They're ahead of their time. Seth, anything that you can kind of add to that conversation, or is that kind of, you don't want to touch it?
No, I'll definitely touch it. It's insurance is everybody, especially the roofing contractors, favorite subject for sure.
Right.
It is a very difficult market.
Yeah.
It's like you guys were talking about, some states you can't even get certain insurance for, whatever the scenario is, whether it's homeowners and yes, that's on the personal line side, and it's all commercial over on the roofing side, but it affects everything.
Yeah.
A lot of these insurance companies are on both. They do the commercial and they do personal, line side. So when there is the big fire losses, there is a big hurricane or whatever, tornado, it affects everybody, and carriers are tightening it up. There's getting less and less options for the roofing industry as a collective group. It just makes it harder. Rates don't tend to be going down, so that creates a negative impact on the insurance industry, how we're perceived, and it's a lot harder to get a quality policy to cover the roofer for what they're doing. It's almost getting to a point where we're getting picking from the best worst option, almost as far as the industry goes. So I don't know when the chime is changing, when the market on the insurance side changes, so it's more beneficial, for the overall roofing industry. I've seen it, change almost every year, and I've been doing insurance since 2007, so almost every year. It's really critical to have open and honest conversations with whoever your insurance agent is, so have them know exactly what you're doing, what you're planning on doing. And it's not just what you're planning on doing next year. You have to have the conversation about what you've done in the past, because every state has different, statute of repose of when you're on the hook for going back to fix a leaky roof that you did 9 years ago. Oregon, the statute of repose is very non-favorable to roofing contractors. It's 10 years for small commercial and residential, so that's a long time to go back and fix a leak.
Yeah.
So you have to tell the people you're working with on the insurance side what you've done in the last 10 years and what you're planning on going forward.
Wow.
So they have an idea of what to do to help cover you, not from your past, but also for the future.
Wow. Will, anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we've looked at our foams and our systems that we have on our roofs, and most of our stuff is low slope roofs, and so we've gotten our FM credentials, which gives us severe hail rating and gives us fire performance at the top levels, the Class A, and we've also got California Fire Marshal and Miami-Dade approvals, things that at the end of the day, I think show the strength of not only our company but also the technologies that we're working with, because I've always said there are 3 different cycles in the roofing business. There's new construction, there's what I call re-roof because it's got old and we need to replace it, and then there's what I call disaster season, where oops, it wasn't beyond everybody else's control, but we got to go deal with it, and we got to put a new roof on it.
Yeah.
And generally, we all focus on that disaster season. It could be very profitable, but it could also be very damaging to our industry, because it gives a tough reputation for us, because people want to expect a roof to perform, or a building to perform, even in these tough climates. And so we've got to continue to build better and be smarter and use materials and systems that have the highest quality and performance.
Yeah, well said. Elise, I know you're new to the industry, but any trends, west of the Rockies particularly, that you've seen so far? And it's okay if you don't, if
I mean, I'd say, going off kind of what they said, sustainability I feel like is always at the forefront of everybody's mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just, making sure, kind of like Will mentioned, all those kind of certifications, stuff like that, to bring awareness to different contractors. I'd say that's the trend I've been noticing.
Absolutely. Sustainability, absolutely. And
so one other trend I think we all touched on it, but I think I would just say is that the previous administration focused a lot on climate change and focused a lot on energy efficiency, and this is certainly kind of taking the back seat in this current administration. And what's happening is they're focused on, to me, trying to protect America, but they're also trying to build a better business-friendly climate is what we're hoping. And at the end of the day, people are then looking at things from a return on investment. They're looking at it from hard numbers. And so, all of us have to, in the roofing food chain, recognize that if we're going to get roofing work done, we got to have sharp numbers, and we got to provide the value that the customer, each one level says this is worth it, we're going to invest in it. Because if we do, then they're going to spend the money because it's sitting in their pockets to be spent if it's wise investment and a return.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Let's talk about let's pivot here and talk about the labor shortage. I'd love, Stan, have you felt it personally in your company?
Oh, for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I think literally I can remember days when 25 years ago we would have crews come in groups of 4 looking for work, and literally 2 or 3 a day. And then come 5 more years later we get 1 or 2, and then they stop coming, and now you're out looking for them.
Yeah.
They're just so. I think what happened in 2020 was when our worldwide pandemic hit, a lot of guys went into retirement.
Yep.
And there was nobody to fill their shoes, and so there was a vacuum. And so you're starting to get guys that were handymen starting roofing businesses because there aren't enough roofers, and they're able to sell a roof because they've put on a shingle once or twice. And so it created a kind of a cluster of not great work for the last 10 years or so. But I think that's getting cleaned up because I think either they have gotten into trouble or other companies have come up and kind of surpassed. So we've kind of cleaned that up, but there's always going to be a shortage until we get this labor problem figured out.
Yeah.
And it is a federal problem, and I think it's a worldwide problem, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, COVID, we lost people, right?
Yeah.
So that is a big part of it. What are you all seeing in terms of labor shortage as well? And are there initiatives or things you've seen other companies do that you're like, oh, that's a great idea? Seth?
Well, my industry is a little different than obviously what Stan does as far as needing actual bodies on the roof or bodies in the field.
Grown a lot.
We have grown a lot, and we're very blessed, and that's amazing. But we can work remote when we need to.
Yeah.
We can accommodate new employees and stuff like that, and not have them actually be out performing construction work. So our industry's totally different in that regard.
Yeah.
We've had major mergers and acquisitions with smaller insurance agencies getting bought out by a large private equity group. And Oregon is predominantly small business where they don't want to be part of a private equity group or a huge mass conglomerate or anything else.
Yeah.
So we've seen a mass influx of employees looking for the smaller, family-based business that they can be part of, and they can, experience and the contributing factor of their growth and be part of something that's pretty awesome. So we've seen a huge influx of people wanting to leave large conglomerates or nationwide companies just because of that regard, and to be part of a family that they can help contribute and grow with. And so that we've been fortunate and blessed with that regard, but that does not solve the roofing industry's problem where, you can only have so many people work remote.
Right.
And, just seeing what NRCA is doing, Western States is doing to really just build out these trade schools and everything out in these programs. They are truly investing time, money, and energy into getting younger people in this industry, and it's slowly but surely it's paying dividends, and we're seeing it today.
Yeah, going back to those CTE initiatives and trade schools, all that stuff. Will, Elise, anything to add on this?
Yeah, I think as Stan said, it is certainly begins with a federal issue, and we have to look at things responsibly, which says there are industries that need quality employees. They have to have skills, they have to have capabilities. Either we grow them here or we find them somewhere else.
Right.
And if they come here, they get the opportunity not only to just start off here, but the world is their oyster. They can grow and become, the next Google or the next, largest roofing company in America. And so, I think it's important that we look at some of these initiatives that are out there at the Congress level, whether it's the Essential Worker Act that they're talking about at NRCA, trying to get skilled workers and get a classification for visas for workers, or the Dignity Act, which says, you know, there are a lot of people that are here that are good people that need a job, and you know, maybe we need to have a balance between all the people that we want to kind of get on board and get under some sort of semblance of identification, I guess I would say. And you know, I think we need to have that conversation. We need to have it on a national basis, and we need to kind of leave the party politics out of it and say, look, America's successful because it builds and grows, and you know, the way out of the debt, at least what the president's idea is, we gotta grow our economy. So we need people, we need innovation, we need capabilities, we need equipment, we need smart business systems, and we also need insurance.
We do need insurance. No, that's a good point. And yeah, well said. Elise, anything to add?
I kind of go with what Stan said. You know, during COVID, a lot of people retired, so just going back to kind of the CTE stuff you mentioned with just getting the younger generation involved again. You know, also utilizing technology to train, to educate. I think the younger generations as well. As much as it's a hands-on industry, there are ways to educate. You know, through technology, at least maybe to start, and then ultimately, you know, eventually they'll need to get that hands-on experience to really get out there. But I think it's like a good opportunity, you know, to kind of connect technology with the younger generation, since you know they're all about it, and really just you know, bring them in maybe that way to start, and then ultimately, you know, get them out there on the roofs, you know, once they've kind of built up their training and take it on that way.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen AI being used where either retired or on the way to retirement, kind of seasoned employees are wearing like a
headset,
a
like
VR headset, and then the person on the roof in the field is also wearing like a camera or something, and they're like talking. And it's training that way.
Yeah. We just do
Crazy.
it through WhatsApp. We do live WhatsApp, and we talk about what to do next.
That's good.
Yeah, we're doing it all the time.
Like you're talking about BIM, I think, which is where they come up with an intricate design, and then someone can go through the building and they can look at all the different things, whether it's on the roof and they can look at all the tolerances because of the capabilities and geolocation of everything. And that's the way of the future. We're going to have to continue to be smarter at what we need to do and employ technology to solve a lot of problems where experience would have been the best way to go about it, but lack of experience we're going to have to supplement with smart technology that people then can easily adapt and learn and then take advantage of to do the job more efficiently. I mean, I know that as everything keeps going up in prices, we're in Las Vegas and the cost of water has gone up while we're here. You know, we got everybody's affordability, you know, and that's important. So technology helps bring affordability is a good path forward.
And maximizing the time you have with those experienced people on your team, and how much can they offer to the people that are coming in new, and using AI and technology to get all of their experience and wisdom down into some sort of something, so you can pass it on.
Pull that USB out of my head and plug it in.
Perfect. Okay, and then I would love to know if there's any creative solutions you all have seen in terms of the labor shortage. Like, how are you finding new employees? Is it word of mouth? Is it, you know, going to these CTE schools, trade schools? What are you doing to recruit and then retain them?
Yeah. Well, right now, our best thing is through our own employees.
Oh yeah.
And so we have a bonus structure designed around. They bring in a crew and they stay for 2 months. If they stay for 6 months, if they stay for a year, they get incremental bonuses.
Oh wow.
We have other people in the industry that I call and go, keep your eye out for XYZ type of employee. So I put the word on the street so that they can bring me information. Yeah. So those are really our only incentives. I mean, I can put stuff out on, but the kind of employee I'm looking for isn't typically on LinkedIn.
Right. Exactly.
He's not going to be sitting out there looking for that job offer.
Right.
He's going to go find out from his buddies what they're doing.
Yep.
And that's really the best way. It's been our success.
Yeah, ours too at Rufus Coffee Shop. We're all interconnected. If you know the coffee shops, then you know that.
Yeah.
Our family.
Yeah, big family. Is anything to add on that? Like, how are you retaining employees? What are some of the culture aspects of your companies that help keep people there?
I think it's treating people with respect. I think it's also then giving them an opportunity, and you know, if they are able to run with it and do it, then you want to reward them and you want to encourage them to keep taking the next step. And if they fail or they have a setback, you want to talk with them about it. You want to kind of reset the playing field, but you want them to get back out there and try it again. And you know, some part of it is training on the job, some of it's training in advance so that they have a high probability of success. But I really just think people are very capable. You just got to trust them. And sometimes I myself guilty of micromanaging people, and boy, they probably could have come up with a better, faster solution if I just got out of the way.
Yeah, we've all been there. Yeah. Any recruiting and retaining pieces of advice from either of you?
Would you like to go first?
Sure. I mean, I would say again, I mean, working for a family company, I think that the family aspect for me personally is huge. Like, I worked at, large corporations previously, and it was missing that sense of community, that sense of family. And I think, whether that's again through, kind of continued education, continued growth, or again, kind of financial incentives, something like that, like just feeling supported by your company. I think that's an amazing feeling. And again, just being able to also provide those learning opportunities. Again, like being able to be on this panel my first month in and discuss all this with you guys and learn about, roofers and WRE and stuff like that, just being able to provide the opportunity. Again, it's very beneficial, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
Well, I think, the big thing that we try to promote with our company is our core values.
Yes.
Our core values is work hard, play hard, grow, and give back. And we really are trying to find the employees that really instill those 4 core values. If you're hiring an employee solely on price, you're going to lose that employee solely on price to your competitor. Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants to make money, and we want to pay our employees good wages so they can, support their families. So that is very important. But if you're going to work hating it, money's not going to keep you there. No matter how much money's thrown at you. In some cases, not all. So really developing a culture from within that goes out to the employees. They're bought in on the fact that they're living by those core values, and if somebody starts to go out of line, not live those core values, then they may not be the right fit or continue to be the right fit. And we really try to hire within those 4 fundamental components, and so far it's worked really, really well. And I think that's the biggest thing that we focus on from a hiring aspect. And like Stan said, asking your current employees who's happy, who's been there a long time, if they know friends, family, their own kids, whatever, that has been huge for us, is the hire from referrals from current employees, and that has been really, really beneficial for us.
We actually did a study. We have a 96.5 or 97% retention on our employees.
Oh my God.
Which is kind of unheard of, but this is just over the last, say, 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, and but you've got to use the typical health insurance. You got to have a 401k with a match. You've got to make sure they get their vacation time. There's all those other benefits. And then you've got we have taco parties 2 or 3 times a year.
Love that.
And we have a Christmas party at the end of the year. And so we want to make sure they know that it's all family, because really without, none of us can. This is it's going to sound like a broken wheel to people who know me, but I'm just a spoke in the wheel. Jose's just a spoke in the wheel. Leslie's just a spoke in the wheel. We all make the wheel turn. Without one, that weakens the whole system.
Yeah.
So we all have to be a part of that wheel, make it turn.
Yeah, so true, so true. What a good point. Okay, so we kind of talked a little bit about some of the legislative changes that are happening. Have you seen any real big impact from them, either regionally, nationally? And let's talk about that. Some legislative changes that are happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that obviously implementation of ICE is out there. That certainly has certain parts of the community very scared. And if you live in America, you shouldn't be scared unless you're a criminal. But if you're a law-abiding citizen and working to try and have a pathway to having a green card or citizenship, you should be able to enjoy the benefits of it. And I think we got to move past solving what they say is the primary issue of having border unsecure, but we've got to get to the point where we have a secure border and we have people that know that they belong here, they're welcomed here, and they contribute here, and society needs them to be successful, and they're going to get the benefit of it by being successful themselves. And I think we have to be unafraid to tell people that that's necessary in this balance here. So the legislation's out there. It's just I think the pendulum's over on one side right now, and that's because it was way over on the other side previous to this. And so it's got to end up finding its way to the middle, because that's how America is. We're in a middle country. We believe in our core values, as you talk about, and we treat people well. And so we got to get back to that.
Yeah, and that would be the Dignity Act, and that's what the NRCA is working.
It's one of the ones. I think they're focusing right now. At least I saw McKay's email earlier today. The Essential Worker Act, which is trying to sort of get a carve out for. The roofing and construction trade, which really surprisingly never had any classifications or things of necessity given the skill level and the importance to their business. But the Dignity Act is another one that's out there, and I would say it's stalled. It's got bipartisan support, but maybe the climate with all of what's kind of going on is people afraid to say this might be a good solution. People have been here 5 years. People have shown a track record of being honorable, respectable people, not breaking the law, people that are, looking for a pathway to be here as a permanent resident and have a work status without concern. And we really need to have some discussion about that, and I think organizations like NRCA, Western States, and other construction trades need to say, well, it's really important to us, and not afraid to kind of say, well, we're not really worried that there's going to be some consequence because we're all looking at the long term. And I think we're going to get there. I think, balance will come in the United States, is all I can say.
Yeah, agreed. So, as incoming president, what is Western States doing in conjunction with NRCA on some of these topics?
I'll find out soon.
Perfect.
I don't really have a straight answer for that yet.
Yeah, you're brand new.
Yeah, I need to dig into that and find out what they are. But I think I need to have a couple of conversations with McKay and a few other people. Craig Brydup, who I love. I've loved him for years. But I need to find out where we have been active and where we haven't been. And I really don't have an answer for that yet.
Have any of you, seen impact with contractors either in your area or your own business through ICE and crews not showing up or anything like that?
No, hasn't been going on yet.
That's good.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not as much. I think it seems that at least my observation is that they haven't gone after workers in the trade space as much as they've identified other areas. And like I said, if they're working to try and handle people that are breaking the law, well, it doesn't matter who they are. If they have a American citizenship, they shouldn't be breaking the law. But I think as a whole, the fervor on that may be dying down. I think because there's a lot of money, but I just don't see that many people actually being deported, which I think is a good thing. I think it's actually they'll find its medium.
I think there's been a lot of self-deporting as well. And so there is going to be that balance, that pendulum swing, where there's going to be a kind of a neutralization but they've got to figure out what they're going to do with who's already been here for 15, 20 years. That's what they've got to figure out. And there's got to be a line in the sand somewhere. I get it, but it's got to happen soon.
And I think they've drawn it. I just think that, you know, it just then mediates, then you have to have the rest of the conversation. And, what's the status today isn't what's going to be the future for all of us. And we're just happy that at this point that some of these conversations are small voices like Horton is the Who are saying, hey, maybe Heidi and I have talked about this for years, you know, and said, hey, you know, we gotta be saying, you know, this is the responsible way for roofing to be done.
Yeah.
And people need so respect as an employee or respect as a human being.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Western States is doing really great work. How do you see some of the association's efforts influencing the nation and the whole nation?
Okay.
Nationwide, how do the Western States influence the country as well as the association? How do you guys see any influence from
Western States?
Yeah.
Well, I can say, I think we've got the most phenomenal three-legged stool on the planet. You got Trent Cotney, you got Ken Klein for technical, and you've got our safety program, which is outstanding. We've got our own companion app, which is the safety companion app. Everybody needs to download that thing now.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, it's got every form known to mankind, including all of OSHA requirements, and all the documentation is there. I just think my biggest goal, and I might as well say it here, is going to be membership, and it's going to be finding those guys in the corner of the world that aren't getting talked to, and bring them into the fold. We've got to each one reach one. That's going to be my tagline. So you go out, you find one member, you find one member, you find one member, and then we bring them in and we love them to death and get them educated. I mean, that's really the secret. Yeah. And so I think the bigger we grow and the more technical stuff and legal stuff and safety stuff that we have to provide to the contractor, it's such a win-win for everybody. Mm-hmm. And we as board members want to surround those new guys and bring them in and get them trained up. Yeah. Help them grow their business and get up underneath them, push them up.
Yes, Western States is just so great at doing that, and the companion app is so exciting.
It's awesome.
It's so exciting. How have you guys seen any of the Western States influence start to penetrate the rest of the country, if at all?
Well, from what I've seen, just from being, I think this is my 15th trade show being at now. Yeah. Definitely not near the number of Stan and some of these others, but just seeing it in the time that I've been here is, it's like being an owner of a company. If you try to do everything yourself and you try to be a one-man show, you're only going to be so successful. What I've seen from the Western States over the years is they bring in all these different resources, whether it's NRCA, whether it's different whatever, they're willing to take information from other associations and morph that into their own associations and grow in their weaknesses to become stronger. They're not just trying to take it all on themselves. No. They're taking it on from avenues that are really providing benefits, and they're doing the same thing. They're reciprocating back. They're not holding their information and hiding it themselves. Right. Yes. They're wanting to help the industry as a whole, and they're taking in resources outside, and it's making this industry extremely, this association extremely strong.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Yeah, it's a great organization to be proud of. I'm glad that when I go to the auction every year, they recognize us as being a person who's contributing and being part of it, and just getting there to be seeing the new people that get the scholarships and then watching and being a part of it, contributing so that they can raise more money to keep doing good. I think that goes to the core values of this organization, and then people are a member because of not only the tools and the skills they're providing, but also because it's really well foundation, and it just really adds to people's why they want to be a roofer.
Yeah,
that's so true. And having an association that does all this outreach and has all these different facets that you can be a part of, is so critical to your company and to your growth as not as a company but also as an individual in the industry. At least, how has seeing this association been for you so far?
I mean, I'm gonna go download that companion app for sure
Yes.
so I can learn more.
It's awesome.
Yeah, but I think, just being welcomed in by the community, by the association, first month on the job, first roofing trade show, I think it's been great. I've got a lot to learn, so I'm excited, and I plan to use Western States as my little resource now that I know all this information is out there, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
Great.
ton of it.
Yeah, as an outsider looking in from the industry, or now an insider, are there any notes or tidbits you'd like to share with the audience of maybe what's like coming into the industry as a newbie? And
That's a great question.
Thank you. I just came up with it.
Awesome. What's it like being a newbie?
What's it like being a newbie? I mean, so far, just from the show perspective, it's been a lot of fun. Again, I really, like I said early on, I really feel that sense of community with the roofing industry, which is always a nice feeling. Even just walking the floor, it seems like everybody's, willing to help or teach or educate in some way.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
That's it.
So yeah, I'm really excited, and I plan to walk the floor some more just to learn more, to really be able to not only support my company but also support the industry in the future. So
Yeah. All right. Well, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, that's it. It's like I'm not above or below. I'm here to bring it all together and support up, and everybody should be. I don't care if you're a $50 million a year roofing company or a $1 million a year roofing company. You're going to learn something from the other guy, but if you treat him with that respect and that dignity, they're gonna want to be part of it. So if you just do that, they're gonna come.
Yeah. Build it and they will come.
Yeah, that's right.
So looking forward to 2026, it's almost Q4. We kind of started with this, how you are preparing your businesses for uncertainty. What are you doing to kind of prepare for that end of the year, beginning of the fiscal year, going into 2026? And Seth, let's start with you.
Well, definitely, we're really, we're really reviewing our financials right now, just to see where we're at, what we can do to expand into 2026, where we can put additional resources. Maybe we can take away certain things that aren't being utilized, and just really try to streamline processes. Review employee compensation, see if there's room, additional room to, throw in extra, increases in salary for, just for staff that, they deserve it. They're living the core values up to their full potential. I mean, just ways to give back to the staff, because we know if, our staff's only as good as we are, they make everything. And so we're really just crunching the numbers, preparing for next year, seeing if there's any sort of new programs that we can, dive into, and just, reviewing and auditing processes is really what we're trying to focus on the last 3 months of the year. And so we're hitting 1-1 full speed, and we're not trying to create momentum when the year starts. We already have it created.
Yeah, planning now so you don't have to be behind the ball.
Exactly.
Stan?
Similar, actually. We're actually going through a process and procedure analysis, but we've actually hired a consultant to look into it, and also to look at our levels of marketing that we're doing, how our sales are trending. They're actually looking at us as kind of a holistic.
Wow.
And these guys have been doing this for over 40 years with all kinds of construction companies. So we're asking somebody with eyeballs outside the circle to look in, rather than us looking at each other like we all know what we're doing. Because there's a lot of insight from people outside who are like, I never thought of that.
Yeah.
And so we've done that, and we've just started with them about a month or two ago. So we've got a whole year to go. So we'll see how that looks like at the end of the year.
Wow. Well, maybe we'll have you back next year.
Perfect.
And we'll get an update.
Yeah.
365 days in the making.
That's right.
Will, what are you all looking at for 2026? What are you kind of expecting to see?
Well, we're looking at it with a lot of optimism. I think our belief is that some of these core things that have been happening with regard to potential reductions in the monetary policies and things with regard to just getting a normalcy of how we deal with it at a federal level. I think that will then businesses adapt, learn, and grow. And so we're in that process of adapting, and we're planning to be aggressive. And I think that's the other thing is we think there's a lot of work to be had, and we think that if we can help our customers find work and get them to work with us so that it's a successful project and building owners happy, then we're going to keep the roofing business going and alive and strong, and that's our thing. We want to contribute our piece into that puzzle.
Totally. Absolutely.
With spray foam.
Yeah. Spray foam. Elise, some last words. What are you seeing for 2026 and how are you guys getting ready?
Well, from a marketing perspective, I think it's kind of going off what Stan said. I'm here being a month on, taking the outside look of our current company, our current brand message, current company message, and seeing how we can either continue to reinforce it, either pivot, or just make it even stronger and better. Kind of being able to walk the floor and see what other brands, companies do as well, how they get their message across. I think taking note of that to see if there's ways for us to improve, do better, or kind of just look upon ourselves. So that's ultimately my goal for 2026 is to maybe come back to WRE with an even stronger message, stronger company presence for us in 2026.
Yeah, absolutely, fantastic. Well, this hour has flown by. We're right at the end of the hour. This is crazy. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you so much for your time today. Kind of to wrap it up, what are you looking forward to for the rest of the show today and then tomorrow? Anything you're just really excited about, Stan?
Boy, I don't know if I'm going to have too much time, but I got to get through the floor at least twice.
Yes.
Because I need to shake some hands and see people I haven't seen, and I always look for new products. That's my big thing, is to find the new thing on the street, and then hopefully try to get our suppliers to buy into it if I see a value, and then get our other contractors interested in it. I've done that for years, and it's worked well. So
that's awesome.
Always looking for the new stuff.
Yeah. Elise, what are you looking forward to?
Again, I'd say just walking the floor. Ultimately, everybody here is so friendly, so I feel like you get caught up at booths for much longer than you anticipate. So just being able to kind of move through each section, and ultimately also just seeing how our sales team operate their own booth from so I can kind of take that back in-house and figure out if there's ways for us in the future to improve upon it or whatnot. So just continue to walk the floor, meet people, learn more about the industry itself. So
absolutely. Seth?
Yeah, I've always been a big fan of the roofing games, so those are always fun to watch. But no, also walk the floor, see what kind of new products, new technologies out there from a safety perspective, and then be able to relay that information, provide it, and even tell the insurance companies what kind of new things are coming out to help the overall safety, so they just look better. You have to tell a compelling story to get things done a lot of times, and when they're implementing it and doing it, they deserve to have it applied to them.
Yeah, agreed. Will, what are you looking forward to?
I think ours is just a couple of things. We want to thank our customers who've been loyal and good to us, and we want to reward them, and then we want to partner with them in the future, and we want to see about finding new customers so we can share the benefits of our company and our systems. And spray foam roofing is a good choice for low slope roofing, and see how we can make an impact on the show with that.
Yeah, well said. Well, thank you all so much again for being here and chatting with me. We're doing a podcast tomorrow on the demo stage where they're doing where the roofing games are. So if you're going to be here, come on out. I'll make sure you're there. And Chris will be there as well. We're going to talk about her presidency and your incoming presidency. And we're live streaming for the rest of the day today and all day tomorrow. So stay tuned. And thank you again to our sponsor, General Coatings and Everroof. This has been phenomenal. You can go to rooferscoffeeshop.com, to find more information on their directory. You can also find Integrity Insurance on their directory on Roofers Coffee Shop as well. And we just thank